We are in the heat of the summer, and really great thing to do in the summer is cleansing ourselves, simplifying our diet, simplifying our lifestyles, getting ourselves to cool down and stay hydrated. Summer and fall, I find, are very good times to do cleansings. Anytime's a good time to do cleansing, but especially when it's hot and it's humid. So, what do I mean by cleansing? I mean cleansing the inside of your body and also kind of detoxing the mind as well. So let's start with the body. It doesn't have to be difficult, especially if you've never really done it before. Keep your intake simple. So that means keep your food closest to its natural source as possible. Let's start off with that. Try to simplify your life to the point where everything that you're consuming is as close to what it originally was supposed to look like, right? That's a good way to start. Think about it that way. Think about the things that you eat in the course of a day. How much of it is processed and how much of it is fresh? I mean, cooking your food obviously changes the way it looks and the way that it tastes, obviously. But let's start with the basic things that you are consuming. I want you to take a minute to think about that. We're going to break it down to brass tacks. So we start with the food and the beverages that we consume. It's challenging in the summer because you don't want to cook too much because it's hot. So you want to go for something that's already ready made or that you can pop into a microwave or you can pop into a toaster or an oven and be done with it. Usually those foods have tons of preservatives and additives in them. And they're taxing to your system because if it's not a natural substance that your body has an easier time digesting, you're giving it that much more work to do by consuming this kind of food. Believe it or not. You think you may be taking the easy way out, you're actually making things harder on yourself. So start with the food that you eat and the beverages. Very sugary beverages, they give you the idea that you're having a good time and that they might be good for you. Unless it's a natural juice, it's not great. And it's too much sugar, especially sugar that is not real, let's say from fruit. If it's not a real thing, if it's a chemical, that's also very taxing to your liver and your digestive system. So just get an idea, just start thinking about what it is that you consume throughout the day and what is it made of. If you got to read a bunch of ingredients on the label that you can't even pronounce and don't have anything in brackets that says the natural source that it comes from, it's just some chemical name. Think about removing that from your diet. Yeah. At least, you know what, with a cleansing, what you do is you start to eliminate all of these things. And then you feel so good that you don't really want to put those things back in. Just saying, just saying. So start with your food. Start with your food and your beverages. Simplify, simplify, simplify. The next thing is make sure that you are drinking lots of water, filtered water, preferably, if you can. Start stocking up on filtered water. Right? I know in some states they have actual stores where they sell filtered water that you can come in and buy, and it's usually a lot less expensive than buying water that's already in plastic bottles. And July is plastic free month, so this is another little challenge that you can give yourself. It's another way of detoxifying yourself, eliminating as much plastic, especially non-recyclable plastic, out of your lifestyle. That's also part of the cleansing. Also, you want to think about just because it's humid doesn't mean that you're not depleting water. Just because you feel sticky and wet. As a matter of fact, you are losing a lot of water and humidity and heat. Heat is what's helping you dissipate some water from your system. So make sure that you're drinking more water. I'm going to give you more extensive information later on cleansings. If you've already done cleansings and you kind of want to up your game for cleaning internal organs. But how you start off your day. I like to drink 8 to 16 ounces of filtered water, room temperature. This summer, what I started doing is I added this back into my routine, and I'm so glad that I did, was I started getting myself a nice tall glass of water. I put 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in it, a little bit of lemon and maple syrup so that it's not super sour, and drink that down. And rinse your mouth and your teeth after you do this. You don't want to start wearing away the enamel on your teeth. So do that. You can also just do hot water with lemon, honey, and salt, all equal to taste. That's another good way of flushing out your system and your organs, the liver, the gallbladder, moving stuff down along the digestive tract through the stomach, out through the small intestines and large intestines. It's another great way of doing it. I love doing this flush drink that I learned from Dr. Richard Schultz. He has a company called American Botanical Pharmacy. It's herbdoc.com. The flush is an orange, preferably organic, 8 ounces of water. I put in about this much peeled turmeric and ginger and a clove of garlic. And you can go crazy with the garlic if you want to, as long as it doesn't give you a lot of indigestion. Some people, garlic repeats in them, and not in a good way. But you can put the garlic in there. I do. And then put a tablespoon of olive oil and maple syrup and drink that down. It's delicious, and you will notice something. Things will start moving. You'll feel it. Things will start moving over time, but drink plenty of clean water and herbal teas. Chill your herbal teas. They're fantastic this time of year. You can even make sun tea because it's so hot. You can get a big jar and put some tea bags in there or loose herbs and put it out in the sun. I love doing hibiscus flowers. I can't find them around here, but I used to do hibiscus flowers also. Loved it. Just put like some lemon wedges in there and then sweeten it up afterwards. Delish. All right. So that's a good way to get started. Some people use coffee to get everything kick-started. Do that if you want. I don't drink coffee, so I can't speak to that. I normally like to do things that I know are going to kickstart my liver and my gallbladder and my intestines. But drink plenty of water. So I talked a little bit about some of the challenges that you might find this time of year because, it's easy to grab a burger, a hot dog, chips, right? Those kinds of things. Really sugary treats. Again, eliminate as much processed food as possible. If you're going to be cleansing your internal organs, you don't want to gunk them up right away, again, in the same day, with food that is going to cause the opposite to happen, right? So anything that's processed, anything that can sit on a shelf, aside from maybe canned vegetable goods and stuff like that, if anything is sitting on a shelf for more than a year, unless they're grains and things like that, or dried beans and stuff like that, you really want to think about it. What is this going to do inside of you? So when you're in the cleansing process, eliminate it for a while just to see how you feel. Believe me, you're gonna poop. You're gonna poop more. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Keeping your bowels clear and free is a great thing. You do not want to keep continually reabsorbing toxins in your small intestines or backing things up so that toxins do not move out. And making sure that because when you start cleansing, you're also kind of retraining your digestive system, right? And consuming probiotics, like let's say I do this apple cider vinegar thing, or other foods that are high in probiotics, which you can look everything that you are eating up and see what's what. You'd be amazed at what foods have probiotic and digestive enzymes in them that make it easier to digest. And it's usually your fruits and your vegetables and your grains and also fermented foods, also great in probiotics. This kind of cleansing process is going to help to retrain your digestive system and retrain your elimination system and your filtration systems, like the liver, the gallbladder, your kidneys, things like that, even your lungs. Okay? So you want to flush them out as much as possible. And, a week or two is a great amount of time to do this. Summer's a great time to switch to eating raw foods as long as you don't have irritable bowel syndrome or anything like that, where eating raw food can actually make things worse. If you have any conditions, please be mindful of what you're doing. Check with your doctor if you're on any medications. We're not going crazy here. This is just a matter of getting the body to clean out. And also, if you are cleaning organs out, you have to cleanse your intestines first. Otherwise, you will be reabsorbing toxins. And if you're on medications, you have to be mindful of what's going on with your liver. So please keep that in mind. I should have started with that. Um, Now, just because you're going to be eating more raw foods or more foods that are closer to their natural state doesn't mean that you have to eliminate fats. Good fats are important for the body and for the brain too, and for hormonal function. So don't think that if you're cleansing, it's like, okay, all you're going to do is drink water. And no, you still want to keep fats in your system and good fats, right? Your omega 3s, 6s, and 9s. Bold Botanica, love this company. I use their omega 3, 6, and 9, and that is a vegetable based product that is fabulous and it tastes delicious. You can put it on salad dressings. Omega 3, 6, 9 from Bold Botanica. Check it out. Use really high grade oils. I'm a huge lover of organic olive oil, cold pressed oils. I love coconut oil. Although it is a saturated fat, you don't have to go crazy with it, but I like it. And think about all the oils that you can use in cooking and what their heat index is, their burn point is. Think about all of those things, but fats are just as important as carbohydrates and proteins. Make sense? Yes, I'm giving it to you very quickly. Now, part of the cleansing not only happens inside, but also the skin. So I don't know what you put on your skin to moisturize it. I'm an olive oil girl, and I do love to do all kinds of things in the kitchen for my hair and for my skin. I love infusing oils with different herbs and flowers and essential oils. There's so much stuff out there. DIY stuff on YouTube. Of course, you don't want to watch just anybody. You want to talk to people. You want to listen to people that know what they're doing. But if you want to keep it really simple, use a food grade, cold pressed, well extracted oil. Like I said, I love olive oil. I also love almond oil. I love coconut oil. Think about your skin type. Olive oil is the closest thing to the natural sebum that your body creates. My body soaks it right up like a sponge. But that's another thing to think about when you're detoxing and cleansing. Stay away from heavy perfumed synthetic products because a lot of those products that are out there, especially for women, they are full of neuroendocrine disruptors and inhibitors. And the endocrine system is very important for everyone. So look at what you've got in the fridge, in your cupboards, and in your bathroom, and wherever you keep your cosmetics and whatever you do. Keep it really simple. Release heavily perfumed things. The skin absorbs and breathes. You know, the skin absorbs anywhere from 46 to 60% of what you put on it, especially when it's combined with alcohol or water. And it's the largest organ of the body. So it's not just the internal organs, it's also your skin. And I love to skin brush. Lightly, you can find them at health food stores. You can find them online. They're natural bristle brushes. You don't get them wet. It's dry brushing. I love it. I've been doing it for over 30 years now. Makes a huge difference. Trust. Believe it. So now let's say you want to get into a little bit more intense cleansing. I have done the American Botanical Pharmacy, Dr. Schultz's protocol. It is time intensive. It is. It takes time. There's a lot of prep work that needs to be done. And you're going to need You're going to need to have time during the day to go to the bathroom as much as possible. I'm just going to let you know that now. The first time I did a cleansing, I was still living in New York City and I was on the train and I was like, I have to pee. And I thought I was going to die because I had consumed so many liquids before I had gone out. And I learned, and thank God I went into a diner and they were like, sure. I was like, I'll buy a tea. I can't buy anything to eat because I'm cleansing, but I really need to use your restroom. So keep that in mind if you're doing intense cleansings, that you should have the time for prep and also the freedom to go and do what you got to do. There's no shame because everybody does it, right? So that's one protocol that I have done throughout the years. There's an intestinal cleansing, 1 and 2, and then there's a liver gallbladder flush, and then there's a kidney bladder flush. And I think that the organ flushes are great to do once a year. I've been doing an intestinal cleansing for this summer, especially when it comes to eating more raw foods. I got to tell you, I love potato chips, especially the designer potato chips. They're so yummy, but they're not great for me or any of us, but they're delicious. So we all have our weak spots, we know. The key is that we do more of the good stuff for ourselves to counteract what's not so great, right? You got to pick your poisons and know your antidotes. But cleansing the body periodically throughout the year is an excellent practice. And you will find that you sleep better and you're more energetic, empirically speaking. The last thing that I want to talk about is any kind of digestive probiotics. So anything that says it's probiotic and it's not being refrigerated, I'm a little sus on that. There are some great products out there. Just do your homework. I can't recommend a probiotic outside of food that I'm like, do it. I can't say that. But I'm going to say that whatever you do use, make sure you really check. Check who manufactures it. Where is it manufactured? Is it refrigerated? I'd say get your probiotics from your food as much as possible. Kombucha, also great. It's fermented. And I will say that digestive aids, 2 that I like. Bold Botanica has a new digestive bitters. Out of sight, love it, especially for helping with gas. Because it's amazing how much gas the body houses, especially as you grow older and your digestion starts to change. So the Bold Botanica digestive bitters, I can stand by that 100%. And also American Botanical Pharmacy also makes a digestive tonic that I also like. They're very different. Try them out, see which works for you. Okay? But I can recommend those. And then lastly is when you take time off, really try to unplug. Detox from news, detox from excessive social media, read a book, look at the sky, look at the water, watch children playing, watch animals playing in the summer, but just really give your body some time, especially with everything that's on the news right now. Your nervous system, everybody's nervous system is on overload. Do what you can to pull back and detox from media and digital outlets. Just do your best to just pull back and interact with the people that you're with and that you're spending time with. And enjoy the silence. That's a great way of detoxing the nervous system. Find yourself in some nature or just in some silence. I know it's not always easy, but your nervous system will thank you. And so will your mind. All right, well, that's my summer cooling cleanse bit. I hope that you have found all of this interesting. If you have any questions, please be sure to include them. If you have any suggestions that are helpful for people and you vetted them yourself and you know that these are wise choices, include them. And of course, always be respectful to others in this community. It is community. And I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your summer. Ciao.